Hello there, hope you're well. It's Jo Cameron here. It's Stress Awareness Month, as you probably know already. So I'm just putting out little bits of video and information to help you with your journey to leading a less stressful life. And today I'm going to be a bit controversial actually, because I'm going to talk about this. Salt from a well-known supermarket. But and the reason why I'm talking about this today is because it's all over the media today about how we are dying early deaths from our diet. And they're saying that we're having too much sugar and not living a healthy lifestyle, but they're also putting this into the equation, salt. Now, here's the story. So if you're like me, like to keep healthy, you'll probably have ditched this stuff altogether. Now, looking back, I didn't have salt for a decade, probably more than that. You know, I don't eat processed foods, rarely anyway, and I didn't add it to any vegetables or any cooking. But what I realised was, because I'm into my sport and I'm very active, I actually needed this. So the resulting symptoms were low blood pressure. Now, I'm not a GP and I'm not a medical expert, but when I went to the doctors and the research that I did, they actually said I needed to take more salt. So here's the weird thing that I discovered. As a result of my own burnout nearly 4 years ago, which isn't pleasant and I wouldn't wish that on anybody, it suggested that I needed to have more salt, and the best way to do that was in a pint of water. Yeah, I know, it sounds terrible, doesn't it? However, the first pint of salt water that I had, I said to Julian, I've got to drink this pint of salt water, and he laughed at me, he said, nobody can do that. Well, here's the thing, I drank the pint of salt water like it was the best thing that I ever needed on the planet. It was absolutely joyful. I know it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? And I kept up drinking pints of salt water for weeks. I don't know how many it was in total, until my blood pressure levelled, until I felt like I didn't need it anymore. But now I do add some salt to my meals, a sea salt. You can get better quality ones than this, but I was just a bit time poor, so I got this one. So I'm not, like I say, I'm not medically trained, I'm not a GP, but what I'm suggesting to you is do some research on your salt intake, particularly if you're active, particularly if you've got low blood pressure. Ask your GP, just be open-minded to having more salt in your diet. If you live a healthy lifestyle already, you haven't had it for donkey's years, and you've got that pattern of being stressed and burnt out, it could be that just adding a little bit of this might make you feel better. I've got to remind you, this is not medical advice. This is my personal story and the information that I found about adding salt. When I added it, I felt much better. These days, I take a little bit less of it, but for a considerable time, I felt like my body was crying out for some natural salt. So have a little bit of research, make your own decisions, and let me know how you get on. Inquiries at jocameron.co.uk. Wishing you all the best. Bye.